Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Pitching Point. My name is Alex Ollie, and I'm joined by Kate, Costas, and Benjamin for the first ever episode of The Pitching Point, the world's first gamified sales coaching show. So we're welcoming sales reps to showcase their sales skills from all around the world. The goal is to help reps improve their sales skills by being pushed to the point of melting while having fun. This week, for the first ever version, we're joined by Aaron from Clean.ai. Aaron, how you doing, man?
I'm very good, thank you. Excited to be here.
Welcome on board. So for anyone who doesn't know, just can you quickly introduce yourself, your role and the business you work for? And then I'll take you guys through what's going to be involved today.
Yeah, sure. So as you mentioned, name's Aaron Baker. I'm a ADR at Clean.ai. And for a bit of context about what we do as a company, work with fast growing companies who are maybe struggling to connect different data sources across the business. And essentially our platform makes it easier to get value and insight from data by connecting those platforms into a single source.
Sounds very, very cool. Might be something that we might be needing here at ReachDesk. Okay, mate. Well, look, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Okay, so for everyone watching, I'm going to just quickly talk you through how it works. Right, reps will have to navigate 4 challenges and will be scored on each round. At the end of each round, the total score will be added up and shared on the Pitching Points live leaderboard. It's like Top Gear meets Dragon's Den meets Strictly Come Dancing. All right, we ready to go, team?
Yes.
Good stuff. All right,
Ready.
Kate, I'm going to hand over to you. What have we got in store for Aaron in round 1 this week?
Okay, so we're going to start with Coach's Den. And right before this session, Aaron actually emailed me. So I haven't read this yet, so I'm going to read it out live online. Hopefully you can all see my screen. So Aaron sent me and pitched to me. Hi, Kate. Thanks for sharing your document on improving sales competencies on LinkedIn earlier this year. It was really interesting. Loved how you described identifying what good looks like in a sales team as being a journey that needs to be defined, developed, and measured consistently. I wanted to offer a solution that makes this strategy easy to implement in every department at E4Enable, improving competencies throughout the company. Nice. The key is connecting information across your sales force, Xero, marketing channels, product usage, etc., into a single source of truth. And Clean AI offers a solution to cover the entire data program, helping you to bridge any gaps in expertise you may have internally. With our co-founders being ex-heads of data and BI at Just Eat and Trainline, we're perfectly placed to take you on that journey. Reporting and insight became immediately easier and more valuable, improving the way you define, develop, and measure the progression of every team. Are you free next Tuesday at 2 p.m. to discuss this in more detail? Thanks for sending me that email, Aaron. I'm going to give you one line, beautifully opened and linked into what I do. So great research, and also wrapped it up at the end to be personal. And the middle bit made sense because of that to me. So for that reason, I'm in.
Amazing, thank you.
Benjamin.
Oh, right, me. Ooh. So, I like how you've personalized it. I think that's very good. I don't like the use of the word loved in emails. We're sort of adult to adult here, and I find the word loved a little the wrong sort of word. So that sort of turns me off. And you don't tell me what you fix that I may be struggling from. I'm struggling to figure it out. But again, I don't understand this world. And the last thing I'd say is pinning yourself down to a specific date and time for the meeting sort of makes it easier for me to say no. If I'm not free at Tuesday, 2 p.m., it's over. So I would say I'm out because I know I'm busy next Tuesday at 2 p.m.
Okay.
Thanks, Benjamin. Alex.
Yeah, I think to echo what Kate says, I love the personalization. I think you've nailed that bit. For me, this email is quite long. Right? There's a lot to it. I read most of my emails on my mobile. I probably wouldn't have got to it. I probably would have deleted it by then, and therefore I probably wouldn't have responded. So unfortunately, I'm out.
Okay.
Thanks, Alex. Costas, do you want to finish us off?
Yeah, I agree with what Kate and Alex were saying. I like the personalization to start with. One bit that I didn't like is that how you document your document about improving sales competencies earlier this year. It's too vague for me. I may or may not remember that. If you can make it more specific, something recent, it would probably help more. I would like to suggest one thing, because I agree with Alex. It's a bit too long. I would have read up until the third, maybe fourth sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, everything you say is slightly redundant for me. That your co-founders being extra heads, it doesn't make any difference to me. I don't know what vibe, what credibility that gives. And I agree 100% with Benjamin. I'm the kind of guy that I don't like to be guided towards one solution only. There's different personalities. I'm the kind of guy that likes to have options. And I think that what you need to do with your email is to gauge interest and then figure out, are you open for a conversation, and let me come back to you. I'm between in or out, but I do feel that because I would have read definitely the first 3 lines, and my threshold is probably the first 2 to 3 lines, I would say I would be in.
Oh, so you've got an in from Costas there. It was touch and go at the end, but you got an in. Okay, so how did that feel, Aaron?
Yeah, good. I think in terms of how I mean, maybe it would be a bit unfair to say if I was directing it to each of you individually, I may have obviously chosen different points to speak about. Obviously, I probably still would have kept the length and the amount of detail. So that was the thing that turned off. I understand the word loved as well. I appreciate that's a bit like Marmite, I guess. I was trying to avoid.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was trying to avoid eyes, if I'm being honest. And I guess maybe landed on that word there, but it's all really, really useful feedback.
Fantastic. Okay, so first hurdle over. I'm going to hand over to Alex now, and we'll bridge into to the next session.
So the next hurdle is you trying to get an appointment with the £6 million man, Alex Ollie. So you have 5 minutes, 50 seconds. It's the optimum time that you need to spend on a discovery call. And in that 5 minutes, 50 seconds, you need to go through your whole intro, engagement, questioning, close, and you will be scored 5 points per judge. And if you get the meeting, you get an additional 5 points. So whenever you guys are ready, Kate, we need the timer to show 5 minutes.
As soon as you say yes, I'm ready to
5
go.
minutes 50. So if you guys are ready, Aaron, you've got a question.
Yeah, sorry. Do I just kind of launch into it, or like it's a cold call?
Yeah.
Do I pretend that you've just answered the phone, Alex?
Alex just picked up the phone. Yeah.
I'll pick up the phone and you'll know it's me, and then we can go from there. Aaron.
You got to get a phone call.
All right, ready to
Whenever
go.
you're ready.
Before we do go into this, I don't weigh £6 million, by the way. Just in case.
Carrying a bit
Aaron,
of extra weight there, Alex.
Yeah. Aaron, you ready to go, mate?
Yeah, ready.
Okay. Right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, Alex Ollie speaking.
Hi, Alex. It's Aaron from Clean AI. Sorry, I don't know if that name rings a bell at all, does it?
I think I might have seen a couple of things about you guys on LinkedIn. I spend a lot of time on that channel, but remind me what it is you guys do.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll be honest, it was a little bit of a call out of the blue, but if you've got 35 seconds, I'll quickly let you know why I called, and then I'll let you get on. If it sounds good, we can set up another time to chat.
Yeah, I've got 35 seconds. Let's go.
Brilliant. So like I say, the reason I got in touch with yourself, Alex, and I guess Reach Desk a little bit more broadly, work with a lot of co-founders of fast growing companies, taking on funding such as yourselves. And what we find is that although that expansion and that growth is amazing, you start to have to answer questions internally, whether or not that be with investors, board meetings, even things like how much you're spending to acquire new customers or KPIs. And I noticed obviously that you guys are investing in best in class systems like HubSpot and Salesforce as well. And am I right in saying you guys are looking at hiring a business ops manager at the moment as well?
We are, yeah, absolutely bang on.
Yeah, so I mean, for us, that shows that the mindset in the leadership team at Reach Desk is looking at how to do data better. And what we found is that even though you spend efforts getting these people in-house, sometimes they spend about 80% of their time moving data from one place to another or trying to manipulate data in the wrong tool, like a BI tool. So, I mean, what the Clean platform does is bridges that gap by utilizing a data warehouse. And like I say, the reason I wanted to get in touch is to see whether or not you had any time to chat about this in a bit more depth.
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. So you're right, we are hiring for like a business ops person who's going to knit all the data together, try and create like a single source of truth for it so that everything moves nicely. Wouldn't we still need to have someone like that to make sure that clean can be implemented properly?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And it is something we find, obviously, people tend to obviously ask as well if you're trying to hire and trying to build out in-house. I mean, just to answer that question with a bit more clarity, what sort of the, I guess, user case or the example that you're trying to get from hiring that business ops manager?
Yeah, so a lot of the struggles at the moment are really around how do we visualize data properly in real time so that we can report on it and make smart business decisions moving forwards. It's also like, how do we get data into like the BDR team, for example, so they're prospecting the right accounts? It's a real end-to-end solution. We need someone that can get all the reports, make sure they are, as you say, clean and reliable, but also to enable the team so that we can scale.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, it's a good decision, especially if you're starting to look at how to connect all those different data points. And actually, something that's really relevant, looking at the job spec of what you posted about the business ops manager, one of the skills you listed is SQL, and our entire platform can be used using nothing but SQL. So yes, the platform maybe works in partnership with a hire, but the whole point is to make sure that they save their time, they're able to streamline their workflow and get that information to the different teams that you mentioned there. I mean, it's something we can discuss in a bit more depth with my VP, Greg, as well. I'd be happy to set that up. I mean, I don't know if you've got any time next Tuesday at 2 p.m. at all.
I might do, but I just want to check one thing beforehand.
Sure.
We're currently using Segment for a lot of our customer data platform data transfers. Do you guys overlap with them at all?
Yeah, so it's another really good question, Alex. For us, how we kind of see Segment is like a data source, as I mentioned. So similar in the respect to your CRM, your finance, your marketing. And a really key difference here is that we utilize the power, I guess, the computing power of a data warehouse in the background. Because as you guys start to expand and bring on more data flow, that systems like that are amazing at connecting the sources, but when it comes to applying business logic and bringing that into a BI tool, that's where we're able to, I guess, complement those different systems you mentioned. And I mean, how are you finding Segment at the moment?
Segment's great. Yeah, it powers a lot of stuff. You know, we have our own SaaS platform, which is our product, and it's linked to that as well as our HubSpot. Everything that we've got. It really brings it all together. So I'm still like, it sounds like the data warehousing side of things is what's really gonna be the differentiator here and make sure that it's all connected to that instance. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm still worried that your value proposition seems to be around the fact that we're not going to need to hire this person, but I still believe that we're going to have to do that ourselves. Do you have like professional services teams that can enable that?
Yeah. So actually our platform is a SaaS product, but we obviously work with a lot of businesses that have priorities elsewhere. And as you mentioned, maybe stretching across different priorities. And we do also wrap it in a consultative integration. So there is the SaaS product. We do also help bridge that gap in maybe strategy as well, which is really important. And we do offer an analyst as a service alongside that. But the whole point would be eventually to give you guys ownership of that product. And as you mentioned there, that business ops manager, it would be a tool that they would be able to use to make sure that their process is streamlined.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I can't do next Tuesday, but I'll be able to do the Thursday after that if that works for you.
The Thursday after that, just to clarify, that is the 10th, isn't it?
Yep, works for me.
Brilliant. What time in particular works for you, Alex?
12 p.m.
12 p.m. And what's the best email address to send that to? Sorry.
It's just alex@reachdesk.com.
Reachdesk.com. Brilliant. I'm just going to send that over to you, Alex, just to make sure that comes through on your side as well. Whilst I'm sending that, as I mentioned, I noticed you had HubSpot, Salesforce. What other data points would you be looking to connect?
Yeah, we need this to connect to Segment. But I'll ping you over an email with those other bits. And just to be honest with you, it's not really me that's going to need to lead this. It's one of my co-founders, Milan. So I'll get him on that too.
Sure. Is that is Milan's email format the same as yours? I'd be happy to add him on there.
Yeah.
And that's just MILAN?
MEELAN.
Oh, sorry. Apologies for that. MEELAN.
Yeah.
At reachdesk.com. Brilliant. I've added Milan to there as well. What I'll do is I'll send you a bit of information for context in the meantime. Do you have any other questions for me at this point?
No, all good. I got to shoot, but thanks for calling.
Brilliant. I appreciate your time, Alex, and look forward to chatting in a couple of weeks.
Cheers, Aaron. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Well done, Aaron.
Aaron, how'd you find that?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Mate,
It was.
I think you did really well, by the way.
Thank you.
But yeah, you've clearly been well trained. I'd love to throw this over to the team to start giving their feedback and scores on this. Kate, can I throw it over to you first?
Yeah, absolutely. I really liked your intro, Aaron. I thought that was really good. I liked your pitch, but I felt like it was a bit too long, a bit too early. It
Okay.
could have been smushed a little bit so that you could get an engagement of feedback. I think Alex was very patient,
Yeah.
listening to quite a long verbiage there, and perhaps with some of your questions, thinking about what outcome perhaps you want, you could have perhaps pushed that on, say, why don't we delve deeper into that into our next session, and perhaps use that as a trigger point to get a next step,
Yep.
maybe rather than going into too much depth. That's just my opinion on that. So I think I thought intro great, pitch great, probably not enough questions for me to make sure you're fine tuning it, because Alex gave you quite a lot, and you got the next step. So for me, it's a 3-pointer, but really well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that feedback, Kate.
I'll go-
Benjamin. Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
I know
It's
Costa
alright.
can go. I'll listen to Costa.
I thought we're going. Listen, Aaron, I know you know your stuff, and it became apparent. What I really liked about you, I think you've got very good conversational skills. I like that you were throwing in a question, especially after when you were making a statement, you were explaining something. I disagree with Kate. I didn't like the intro. Have you
Okay.
heard of clean? I would be immediately like switching off. You know, if I didn't know you, if I knew you, maybe
Okay.
it would be different things. But if I didn't know who you are, I don't think it's a good way to start the conversation. I do, however, agree with Kate that afterwards your elevator pitch gave me an idea of what you're doing. It's great. The one thing that I would like to say is that they're hiring a manager, so they're going out of their way to find someone. So there must be a reason why they're doing that. And I think you were touching around the hiring of the manager. That was good research, very, very particular. But I'm not quite sure that you know why they're hiring the manager. What's the big issue that this person is trying to fix, and how do you fit as a solution? Because he was referring back to, I still think I will need to hire the manager. Where I felt that your proposition should complement the hiring of that individual because it will make their job easier. But what's the bigger picture? How is this gonna, your proposition will help that person to help the big picture stuff that Alex is focusing on? I would go with a 2-pointer if
Okay.
because I think the questions were good, but they weren't deep enough. I don't think you've identified a solid reason.
Okay.
So it's a 2-pointer from me. But overall, I think your delivery, it was good. And I take into account that you do it for the 4 people. It's not easy, man.
No, I appreciate that. So just to kind of reflect on that, so you're suggesting perhaps the answers or the questions should dive maybe towards his bigger picture?
Yeah, I thought that
Yeah.
you've done your research. You know the hiring manager. You know that your solution can complement that individual. You
Yeah.
still didn't figure out, I think, what they're hiring that manager, how your solution will complement their job to deliver. But definitely get rid. My personal view, get rid of that. Have you heard of clean? It's a question early on that you don't need to.
See, it's strange because when we tend to get no, I tend to be like, oh, no worries. Look, if you've got 25 seconds, I'll let you know why. Would that not sit well with you then?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
I would just go like, who usually speaks with you and why?
Okay,
Listen,
interesting.
usually people speak to me because X, Y, and Z. Does it sit well with you? And then you continue conversation.
Got you. That's interesting. Thank you.
Right, me. Well, I
Here we
thought-
go. Brace yourselves.
No. So your delivery and style is very good. So you came across confident, and you didn't get tongue-tied. A lot of salesmen get a bit tongue-tied, so you didn't do that. So that's very good. What I would say is this: with the intro, if you're going to ask someone for 35 seconds, which I have no problem with, you need to remind them once you've had it and that it's up. You see, because if you say to someone, I'm only going to take 35 seconds, once you hit that 35 and you keep going, they're going to hold up, mate. You just said So once you hit your 30 seconds, you say, look, I've just realized I've had my 30 seconds. Can we talk maybe for a couple more minutes? Always get that permission, because no matter how well the conversation's going, that little voice kicks in and says, hold on, this call's going on longer than the guy.
Yeah.
So you destroy that trust that you had sought to create. So you always go up to that. Discovery, I wasn't sure why you threw in about the ops manager, because when I first heard, I thought this is a little confusing. Why is he chucking an I understand you? So I would try to weed that in at the beginning slightly in the pitch. And I'd say something. So knowing that fact, I'd go in making an assumption and say, so we work with companies that are either in the process of recruiting or have just recruited an ops manager. Now, when he hears that, he'll think, all right. Yeah, all right. I recognize that. You see, you've got to make a prospect recognize themselves in what you're saying. So rather than go in and say, I hear or see you're doing that, knowing that, I'd say, we work with companies that are doing this or have done it. And then he'll go, okay, that's me. He's talking to me. So that's how I change that. I would have challenged him a bit more too. When he asked you a question about segment, I have no idea what any of you are talking about, just so you know, right? So when he said, does it integrate with segment? I would go back with a question, which is the next round, and say that, that's a great question. If we were to do this, is integration with segment something you'd need? If he says no, we don't need to have a great conversation about segment, do you?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you've always got to test, why has he asked that question? There's no point me vomiting on him about how segment can integrate if he doesn't need it to. It's a trick question. So always clarify before you answer a question, why have they asked me that? And the other thing I'd say is, again, you try to pin them down to a particular date and time.
Okay.
Yeah. And the last thing is always I get it called a post sell. Give it one last chance to bail. Yeah, because there's nothing worse than someone when you get that meeting in the diary because it's gone well and the guy maybe just wants to get rid of you. He's being polite. He goes, yeah, it's fine. Just send me an email and we'll book it in. Give him one last chance to bail. Say, look, before we go, you're not going to hang up the phone and think, oh my goodness, I've just set up an appointment with a software salesman, are you?
Okay, I like that.
And they always say, no, I'm not. Are you sure? Because you can if you want to. No. And that way you cement in their brain that is worth doing. So I'm going to give you, because it was the first one, we're going to be nice. I thought your delivery was good. I think you didn't get tongue-tied. So I'm going to give you a 3.
Thank you very much.
3 out of 5, yeah.
All right. I think it's great feedback then, Benjamin. So look, I was your prospect. I think I'm actually in Clean.ai CRM somewhere. Benjamin's bang on with the 35 seconds or 30 seconds, whatever you said. Like, you lose that trust straight away because the prospect. Okay. And I was like, hang on, he asked me for a really short amount of my time and it's gone over. Like, actually, I just switched off. I get a lot of cold calls, by the way. And I did naturally just switch off, but it was good. It's a pattern interrupt, right? It's making my brain think something I wouldn't normally have thought about, but then you lose it at the point that 35 seconds goes up. So really change that. By the way, we've gone over that time. We're still good to keep going.
Okay, yeah.
That's the message you want to send to your prospect. 100%. As soon as you said, I noticed you're hiring someone in business operations. That is actually what brought me back in. I was like, oh, finally, someone's done their research on me and my business, right? Use that straight at the beginning.
Okay.
And every call, you should never call someone unless you know the reason why you're getting in touch. The reason I'm calling is because of this. But as soon as you mentioned that, I was like, oh, wow, I'm in the zone now. Okay, I'm interested in talking to you. So that's a really good thing, by the way, the fact you've done that research and you've put that in there, but just use it to your advantage sooner.
Yeah, I think maybe I was trying to tease it a little bit too much instead of just being upfront with it. But yeah, that makes sense.
You were a bit unsure. It's like, do I drop this in or not? Of course you do. You know that, right? And you should actually be using that as triggers for when you're prospecting and look for that with other businesses at the same stage. Because, I do know the product and I know it does fix the problem that most founders like me would suffer from.
Yeah.
The thing that I still don't get, and I hear this a lot, is with the 2 o'clock on Tuesday, the default time, why not tomorrow?
Okay. Yeah.
Why don't we just when's the soonest we can jump on a call, right? If we're just going to say, I want this at 2 o'clock next Tuesday, it's like, okay, well, I actually just thought, well, I'm going to push you out as far as possible. I teach my team, can we jump? Sometimes I say, if it's a morning call, how about we jump on a call this afternoon? right? And just keep it real and keep it real time. And you know what? I'm really busy, but let's jump on a call tomorrow. If you do that every time you do a cold call, your pipeline of meetings, your booking is actually going to come forward all the time, as opposed to what everyone else gets is always gets pushed back. So I'd really try and focus on that a little bit more. But for me, I'll give you a 3 happily. Nearly gave you a 4. I'd say if you brought in the business ops side of things a bit earlier, and didn't, I think you got the meeting within the time frame, which is good, by the way. Even though we did run over whilst you're booking in, I've seen the email you sent over, so you actually have booked it in. But I think you did a really good job.
Thank you very much. I like that time being as soon as possible as well, I guess, because like you said, if someone does have to push back, they're probably pushing back sooner than what maybe you did in that case there as well.
I'll give you
Cool.
one other tip.
Go on, Benjamin.
Just one other tip. And this is hard to do. Never ask for the appointment. I know that sounds weird, but I'm like a vampire. And how can a vampire enter a home? Has to be invited. And once it's invited, it can't be uninvited. So if you can get to the point you say, well, let's pretend our solution, once you saw it, could eliminate the problems we've discussed. Is there any reason you wouldn't invite me in to explore that further? It's a lot easier, softer way. Because when you say to people appointment or meeting, their brain, oh, fuck. But if you get to slow it down, is there any reason you wouldn't invite me in to explore that further? No. Well, what date are you looking at? Yeah,
Okay.
If someone's invited you in, it's a lot harder to bail on you.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That's great.
Thank you.
Cool.
Love that. Aaron, well done, mate.
Well done, Aaron.
Okay,
Well done.
so we're on to round 3.
Just
Benjamin?
before you head over, Costas, I didn't note down your score.
3.
I think it
It was 2, wasn't it?
2.
No, it was 3. It was 3.
It was 3.
Well, they said 3 now, so Aaron, you got 3.
3.
Well
3.
played. Right, thank you. Sorry, carry on.
Alrighty, Benjamin, would you like to introduce
Right,
your
so this is
round
the
and what
question
involves?
round. Now, this is tough because a salesman's job. So we're assuming we're in a sales meeting. This isn't a prospecting call. You're actually in a proper meeting, and a salesman's job is to gather information, not give it. But a prospect's job is to gather information and not give it. So you actually have a clash. There's just one problem. Salesmen love telling people what they do and how they do it, and they love to impress. So the prospect's always got the advantage. I'm not going to tell you anything, but I'm going to get you to tell me what I want to know. So a good salesman never answers a question unless he knows exactly why they've asked. So I don't teach people not to answer questions like a politician. It's, I'll answer, but I have to know why you've asked me that before I can answer. Otherwise, I could be shooting myself in the foot, like with the last round with the segment question. We have to understand. So this round is, we're just going to plunk right in the middle of a sales meeting. And I'm going to start off with a question. And then you have to reverse me with a question. But the question must make sense. And the skill is to ask a question that also won't piss me off or make me feel like you're prevaricating or avoiding. So that's tough. And it's often the stupid questions that most salesmen fall down on. So we're going to do this for 90 seconds. And at the end of the 90 seconds, if you cannot answer a question, great. If you do answer, you don't score as many points. So I'm going to start off, and we're just going to be in the middle of a meeting, and I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to have to answer. And then we just go, and you must ask one back. Otherwise, the conversation will just stilt.
Of course.
Yeah, it has to keep flowing. So here we go. Meeting starts. So Aaron, where are you guys based?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, whereabouts is your guys' office? I'm trying to think how close we might be.
Well, we're in London. Where are you?
Sorry, just in terms of, oh God, that is
Tough, isn't it?
Sorry, you've caught me completely off guard.
I know, this is a question everyone,
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what,
Look at that. Oh,
this is completely destroying me.
Is the timer working? Because I can't see it.
Oh no.
Shall I help you?
Yeah, that would be great.
So you would respond with like something. If I told you we were based in Bristol, you're going to tell me it's too far away, aren't you?
Okay, right.
Yeah, you see now it forces me to answer.
Okay, got you. So if I told you we were based in Bristol, you'd say that was too far away, wouldn't you?
No. We've got plenty of clients around the place. So if we were to go ahead with you, then how often would we be able to see someone on a personal level then?
Yeah, so it's a really good question. I mean, out of curiosity, how important is it to you guys to have as much face time as possible?
Well, ideally, we'd like to touch base with an account manager once a month. That's what we're currently doing with our other provider, the one we're thinking of leaving, by the way.
Hmm. And why is it that you're looking to leave those guys?
I just feel that they're not giving us the level of service that we thought we were going to get. We expected more one-to-one, and it seems to be more done by email and remotely, and we're a hands-on sort of business. So that's what I'm hoping that you could say. That how often do you think you could get up to us if you were based in London, Bristol, and we're down here in London?
Yeah, it's a really just to kind of pick up what you mentioned there. Would it be fair to say then that the lack of face-to-face or that lack of personal relationship working with your current partner is one of the main reasons you're leaving then?
Yeah, it's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And are there any other aspects that you guys are struggling with at the moment working with
We'd
them?
like to reduce costs, obviously. Times are tough. COVID is kicking in, and we're always looking at ways we could perhaps, slice a bit off the salami.
And I mean, if you don't mind me asking you a difficult question, what are you paying with them at the moment?
I'd rather not say, but what would you? Well, actually, you help me out here. What would you charge on a monthly basis per user? I'm assuming you use. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question to ask, and I'll be honest, it kind of does depend on I guess different variations of what you're looking at. Is this something you'd want to kind of be applying to the business as a whole, or is there a specific department that you're looking to focus on with our product?
The accounts department, ideally. You got experience working with accounts?
Yeah. Is that specific problem area at the moment then at the company?
What do you mean?
So what I mean by that is, in terms of your priorities within the business, is solving your challenges in accounts the main priority?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
I think the timer is up. That was absolutely.
No.
Aaron, mate, honestly,
That was
mate,
great.
after the first one,
I was
first one.
squirming on your behalf.
I was
The first
squirming,
one.
but I was also like, he's killing it.
Do you know what? I was
Yeah.
ready for anything except for where are you based?
I know. You know how
That was
many
a brutal
deals have
start.
been sunk by someone answering that too soon?
Oh, that's such a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So just a couple of pointers. I mean, you
yeah.
did
Yeah.
well. The thing is, though, when you're doing this reversing, there has to be a point you're getting to.
Okay.
So it's very easy to just answer a question with a question. But if you notice, our conversation was just moving along
Yeah.
on a sideways trajectory, which means you're never going to drive me down to a particular point. And the purpose of any sales meeting is to get someone emotional about whatever is going on in their world. So the art of reversing a question isn't just coming back with something to keep it going. It's,
Mhm.
well, I've got to get this guy to move from A to B. So I was dropping in things for you to pick up on. Yeah. So one of the first questions I'd say to someone is, I'm thinking of leaving because they're not giving us the face-to-face. Like, can I ask you a question? When you phoned them up and told them that you're not happy with that service, what did they say?
Okay. Right.
And I would say, well, I haven't done that. And you go, well, why the hell not?
Yeah.
First thing I would
yeah.
do. Well, yeah, we're thinking about doing it. And then what are they going to say when you phone them up and you tell them this? What are they likely to say? Well, they're going to apologize and they're going to offer to make it better. Exactly.
Yeah.
In which case, you're probably not going to change, are you?
So I was focusing more on is that your biggest priority while you're leaving,
Yeah,
as
you
opposed
gotta-
to driving it towards the yeah.
So
Okay,
a
that makes
prospect's
sense.
always hiding stuff.
Yeah.
I got to get it out of them. So have I spoken to them about the lack of one-to-one? And if I haven't, why haven't I? And if I have, what did they say? And
Yeah.
if what they said, was I happy with it? Or am I not happy with it? And is that enough for me to want to change? So we got to push them down. So it's really tough skill to learn because it's very easy to go off on a sideways tangent and never go down.
Yeah.
And I think for a first round, I mean, it's a toughie. I went in with a toughie. So good man. You played well. I
Well,
Thank you.
to be fair to Aaron, he figured out that you have a problem with your accounts department.
Yeah.
So that was really good.
Aaron, I think you nailed that, man.
Yeah.
Apart from
Thank
the
you.
first one, which was
Yeah.
just brutal, but after that, I think you did an absolute killer job. Okay, guys, we haven't got much time left. In terms of points for that round, then Benjamin, how many points has Aaron
Oh,
got?
I have to be tough. He failed at the first hurdle. So I have to give him
So-
0. But he did well.
Oh.
Everyone's going to build up. I'm going to try and get everyone to fail. Don't worry.
Yeah, but sadly, in sales there are 0 points for
Era,
effort.
you don't get second chance.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so you failed at the first hurdle, but you did well.
That still means you get 10 points though, because you get 10 points for answering less than 2 questions. So you
That's
did
true.
all
Answered
one,
one.
so you still got some. You still got some.
I'll take
Good
that.
work.
Yeah, I appreciate
Awesome.
that. Thank
That
you.
was great.
Well done.
Good job. All right, guys. Okay, now into the final round, right?
I can't wait for this.
The final
I'm so
round.
excited
Forgot
for
about
this.
that. Oh yeah, we need
You
to-
thought, everyone watching, you thought you've seen the best gamified sales coaching show in the world. Well, I'm preparing you for Beat the Chief. Right? We have a quick fire round of 10 questions using Kahoot. It's not guessing the answer right that counts, it's getting there first too. And we all know deals don't age well. It seems like Costas doesn't either. But let's make sure that your answers don't slow you down. Chief, I'm joking, man. You've aged beautifully, just like a great single malt. All right, guys. Over to everyone. I'm now going to witness. I'm not playing. I'm going to witness you guys to the sound of Kahoot. Oh wait,
I had to change. I had to change my.
This is really hard to join.
It's really hard to join. It's a big test. Right, hang on.
red, blue, green, yellow.
Red, blue, green, yellow. Yes, I'm in.
Red, blue, green, yellow.
Says my name's
Yellow,
already been
red.
taken. Cool.
Aaron's in. Can everyone hear the beautiful music?
Not very clearly.
All right, we're all in. Okay. Let's get ready
Okay,
for
so
Beat
stop
the
the
Chief.
music now. I can't hear you.
Alrighty, guys. Ready?
Right.
3, 2, let's play. True or false? 6 out of 10 prospects want to discuss pricing on the first call. Okay, so the answer is true. Let's see what the
Yes.
scores are. Okay, so the fastest person to get it this time was the
Damn it.
Chief. Benjamin in second place. Aaron, I'm afraid you got that one wrong. my
Yeah, I
friend.
did.
Right,
Sorry,
let's move on to question 2. On average, what percentage of salespeople hit target? 68, 53, 61, or 78%? The answer is correct, 53%. Now let's see who's in the lead. Chief is still in the lead.
Oh, damn
The
it.
Chief's knowledge of sales still reigns on. Aaron, my friend, we've got a bit of catching up to do.
Yeah,
Take a breath.
just a little bit.
It's so
Take a breath.
stressful.
Benjamin scored 920. That's a record for Benjamin.
Well, I can
Benjamin?
see questions now.
Alrighty,
I
team.
myself, I gave me a higher close rate, so I'm being honest.
Let's go.
Question 3. All right, true or false? The optimum words to use in a cold email subject line to generate the highest response rate is 1. Oh, it's true. Well, let's hope, Aaron. We hope you got this one right. Okay. Aaron did indeed. Who didn't get that one right? Kate?
Shh.
Oh, Kate.
Let's not talk about it.
Let's not talk about it. Don't talk about it. All right, Aaron, you're on the board, my friend. Still a way
Thank
to go.
you. Yes, thank you
Um,
very much.
According to a Sales Loft report that was done earlier on this year, the optimum number of words to use in a cold email is 1. Alrighty, 4 out of 10. According to Gong.io, what is the optimum duration of a cold call? If any of you get this wrong, then okay, we all got it right. Brilliant, Aaron. As you witnessed earlier, let's see who got it the fastest. Chief is on fire. Wow,
Bloody hell.
wow.
No chance.
Oh, it's so
Okay,
annoying.
Benjamin
This one's
is in
difficult. I
second
think
place,
it's
but Aaron, you did that one pretty quickly though. Catching up here. Okay, guys, we're nearly
Try my
halfway
best.
through. 5 out of 10. What percentage of salespeople feel they have to work weekends to hit target, according to Pipedrive? 60%, 40, 80, 20? Oh, the
Of
Chief.
course it's 80.
Again.
Of course
That's
it's
it.
80.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
So, according to a Pipedrive report published 3 months ago, 80% of salespeople feel they have to work weekends to make sure they hit target.
Yeah.
All right, now the Chief might be let's just hope he doesn't get the next 5 in a row. Otherwise, you guys are not catching it. Okay, guys. 50% of prospects think salespeople are pushy. What percentage of salespeople believe they are pushy? 25%, 33%, 11%, 17%.
Oh, there was a lower one. Damn.
It should be
Oh.
33%.
I thought it was 33%.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was
So, just shows very few salespeople think they're pushy. Okay, so no change there, team. Chief, you're in luck. No one got that right. According to SalesLoft, what is the optimum time spent writing an email that yields the highest response rates? What's the optimum time spent writing an email? 5.2 minutes, 6.7, 3.3, or 10?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
5.2 minutes. Okay, no one got that right. So scores still, I think the Chief might have got it this week. 3 left to go. How many calls do SDRs make on average per day? 74? 46? Oh, 46.
Oh my
Nice.
god. I feel
That's
so
low.
badly.
I
46.
have a higher belief in them. Big belief on them.
Oh,
Oh.
shit.
Disappointing, I know, and I'm disappointed in you for too. Anyway,
That's so
scores
bad.
still, Chief. No, I think he knows he's got it this week.
Oh,
True or
God.
false? 92% of salespeople are proud to call themselves a salesperson.
Oh,
Oh
this is so bad.
Did they say 92% live?
Ugh.
The numbers never lie.
Yeah.
All right,
God.
last question, guys. According to HubSpot, what percentage of sales emails are opened? 31%, 24%, 57%, or 45%?
Ah, my phone went
Oh,
Oh, 24%.
Yes.
24%.
Seems
Okay.
yourself.
All right, so this means we'll reveal.
I've had a
Final
bit of a
scores.
mare here, I think.
Okay, in third place, Kat, aka Kate Lewis. Second place, Benjamin, 37,000 points, 4 out of 10.
37,000? Oh, you're right.
2,700. So that's the leaderboard this week, guys. Have the Chief. Chief, congrats. Top of the podium. No one is yet beating the Chief. Alrighty,
How
team.
many
Look,
are
Easy.
interested? How many did
Aaron
Aaron get
I thought
right?
he was playing.
Aaron,
God.
we will be revealing that on LinkedIn. Another
Ah,
time.
it's a
I think I
prize.
got
Aaron,
like
appreciate you taking part in that.
Well done,
Yeah.
Aaron.
Um,
No, thank you,
No,
guys.
no, no, Aaron, you got 2 right.
Oh,
just
2.
so you know.
Oh,
Yeah, you got
damn
2 right.
It's not good. I've got a couple of years to try and catch up in knowledge.
It's pointless
The
dating.
Chief,
you
the
know
Chief's
that.
probably got about 70 years on you. No, I'm joking.
no. 73.
Yeah, Chief's a classic.
All right, team. Well, look, we're up for time. Aaron, how did that all work out for you today? Do you feel you've learned something? Have you enjoyed yourself at the same time?
Yeah, massively. I can't say thank you enough. It's been very enjoyable. My face hurts from smiling, which is good, and I've learned a lot as well. So I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Well done.
Cool. So, Kate, would you mind showing Aaron where he sits on the leaderboard? I mean, there can only really be one place. But how many points did Aaron get today?
Absolutely.
Ta-da!
Yes.
You're the leader. You're number 1 on the leaderboard.
Let me just screenshot that.
Brilliant. Well done.
Thank you.
Well
Thank you.
done. 39 points to beat, everybody. 39
Yeah.
points to beat.
Aaron, it was a pleasure having you on, mate.
No,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah, Aaron,
Really
look,
enjoyed
thanks a
that.
lot for taking part. Thanks a lot for taking an entire hour out of your day. It's a tough job being an ADR in any environment, particularly this remote environment. So keep those energy levels high. You've been really well trained. Hopefully you can take away some of the things that we've given you today to really optimize things and boost that. But good luck in sales and your career in general. Good luck. Happy hunting. Thanks for everyone. This has been the first ever episode of The Pitching Point. We'll catch you soon.
Lovely to meet you guys. Cheers.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.